Add another person who's not a fan of the visual effects work and how cheap and bad it looked in The Flash. This time, the visual effects director of the film. Yup. So some of the things in regards to this whole scenario is the fact that obviously the CG is bad, right? Everybody can look at it and go, yeah, it's bad. Even if they tell you, no, we intended it to look bad. It should have looked better than missing crucial pieces of the characters, like missing Batman's ears. Like, they clearly used AI or used some very cheap visual effects houses. That's just what it is. We can all look at it. It's fine. Even if you're a diehard fan that's going to defend this, just admit that sometimes things like this happen, and yeah, it's not good. Whatever the case is, though, we recently had some interesting quotes like, hey, that's Superman. For example, he looks like Polar Express Superman. Now, obviously, the Polar Express was a CG film that, well, by today's standards, not that good, but it came out like, what, 15 years ago? So, yeah, The Flash did in parts look far worse, if not on par with the Polar Express. Now, instead of talking more about this and everything that's been said and all that, because honestly, it's the same thing we've said about CG and everything, you just got to really look back on what was going on with this film. The production, the amount of money they spent multiple times on multiple reshoots, then the amount of money they should have spent that they couldn't afford. I mean, the film has so many problems with it that you can't just blame the VFX artists here, because that would be easy. You got to blame everybody from the top down. Like, no visual effects artist says, you know what I want to do is be crunched and complete an entire 10-minute sequence worth of CG in a few weeks. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Like, they typically need months to make it look good. And that's why so many films recently have had dodgy CG. From the MCU to the DCEU to everywhere in Hollywood. It's because these production houses are stretched thin, they're understaffed, and they're overworked. So it shows up in this. So I don't blame him, and I'm glad the fact that there's many of them coming forward and going, you know what, yeah, it looked bad, I'm sorry, but that's the hand we were dealt. It's not their fault. We shouldn't be blaming them. It's the fault of, well, the management up higher and what they were mandating and how quick they wanted it. So, it is what it is.